Hey guys, what's up everybody? Good evening everybody, and welcome to another edition of the ActionsTheTrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing okay. Crazy market, crazy market. Very tradable, very tradable. We had a lot of really good aggressive pivots today, okay? Liquidity sucks, okay? Liquidity sucks, as you can pretty much see, and I was incredibly active today. I put on, I think, 7 positions today, right? 7 positions. I traded Tesla I traded Tesla 3 times today, okay? I made money on the short side. I made money twice on the long side. I made money on Boeing on the long side. I made money on Netflix on the long side. The only trade I screwed up today, the only trade, and again, we'll talk about the macro picture in a second, because I don't think the individual trades are as important as kind of what we're seeing here. I know a lot of you guys did very well today, especially on the option side, especially on the last push of the markets. But I think the dumbest trade I did today, was Amazon, okay? And again, I never learned anything. And again, it's all about learning. It's all about developing. You know, again, everybody knows about it. You can look at you can look on Twitter and FinViz and everything. You'll see, not every single day you see a 300-point down move on the NASDAQ composite, but everybody knows that, okay? We speak from the trading aspect, okay? We don't speak about the scoreboard. The scoreboard was exaggerated today. Absolutely. The pivots were absolutely exaggerated today, right? Absolutely, right? Absolutely exaggerated today. But we speak from the trader's point of view. And of all the good pivots today, this is where I screwed up, okay? This is where I screwed up today on Amazon. Again, Tesla I made money 3 times. Netflix I made money. Even Boeing. I even traded Boeing today, just to give you an idea. I scalped it for some cash flow as well. But the most amazing part, and this is kind of where we talk about the stupidity factor, right? We talk about FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. And we talk about how sometimes we're our own worst enemy. So here was a setup we talked about on Amazon, right? I really like this setup. So we talked about the 1752 pivot. So I shorted at 1752, okay? I shorted 1752, and it goes down to like 1749 pretty quick, right? Pretty quickly. And just when you think this thing is about to completely fall off its act, completely fall off the cliff, right? There's a reload buyer there. So I wound up getting squeezed out, right? I wound up getting squeezed out, lost about 6 points or so. Okay, not the end of the world, not a big deal. Here's where stupidity kicked in. And again, I always talk about don't play Miss Cleo, right? Don't play Miss Cleo. Don't forecast your trades. Don't predict. Let them confirm, right? So all I needed to do, again, the first move was down to 1749. The only thing I needed to do, right? All I needed to do is wait for that 1749 to be confirmed. Instead, I reshorted the remount, right? I shorted the remount on anticipation of the market completely collapsing. And guess where it stopped? Again, for the second time. It stopped again at 1749 and again squeezed me for about 5 points. So I wound up losing about 11 points on Amazon, which is not a great big of a deal. I mean, I lost some money there, but it's not the greatest, big of a deal. I made it back, I made it back, blah. I had some really good pivots. The liquidity absolutely sucked, but I had some good pivots, and we did very well today. As a group, I think we did incredibly well today. I'm just getting email after email. So, great job. But again, this is the trade that we always say to ourselves, we're our own worst enemy, okay? We're our own worst enemy. So all I needed to do was wait for the confirmation, and I would have done this, right? I would have done all this, right? So again, guys, it's very important. Anybody, could talk about the Dow down 600, 300. We want to speak from the macro point of view of being a trader, right? And the little attention to details, the difference between us trading perfect or for us trying to forecast and will a trade into our direction. Other than that, a lot of really good pivots here. Tesla, we'll talk about that in a second. We talked about this macro pivot here in the room. Again, I didn't get as many shares that I wanted. Again, the liquidity is just big problem for me because, again, there's just not enough market participants to provide liquidity. But again, we talked about 305. We talked about 305 initially. To the upside, 296 to the downside. I shorted it. It just got imploded. It completely imploded. I know a lot of you guys did very, very well there. Netflix, I got long on that where the hell did I get long? I got long on, did I get long or short? I'm sorry, short. I'm sorry, lost my mind. So I shorted Netflix right here. Again, another case, I just didn't get enough liquidity. And it went down. It went down a lot, but I just didn't get enough liquidity. Tesla was a good one. I know a lot of you guys caught it. Here was a sneaky pivot right here. Here was a sneaky pivot. I put this in the private room. I put this in the StockTwits feed, obviously in the live webinar. This thing went up 2.5 points, like nothing, like absolutely nothing from that 297 area. Boeing right over here. We talked about this 362.50 area, 363. I bought it. You know, it went up about $1. I wound up making about like 50, 60 cents on like a third size, and the rest I broke even on. But this was one of the bigger moves of the day. I tweeted this out even to the macro universe. We talked about this. Again, you just got to trust charts. And we said, look, the only reason why these things stopped yesterday was because of the lower Bollinger Band. We talked about this. And yesterday on the video, I said, going into today's session, I can make a valid case that yesterday was the bottom, and I can make a valid case that it was just a pregnant pause. And this is exactly what happened today. Again, we're not trying to pick tops and bottoms. We're trying to win our intervals. It's not about winning the war. It's about winning our intervals. And I tweeted this out. I said, this is the line in the sand. And for all you guys who took the trade, we talked about the 266 put sweeper that came in anticipation of this move. And congratulations for all you guys who took this trade. I thought there was a shot this thing could have hit 266 tomorrow, right? This thing it completely unraveled. I mean, one of the most aggressive sell-offs I could see into the close. Congratulations, guys. This thing went from 268.60s all the way down to the 264s. I mean, really, really aggressive move. So, I mean, very, very aggressive day. Also today, IRBT, I got a slew of emails about IRBT. We talked about IRBT right here. We talked about IRBT 83, what was it right here? 83.70s, right? 83.70s completely collapsed. NVIDIA, I mean, I couldn't even keep up with a lot of these pivots. They were so fast. I know a lot of you guys were catching it. This pivot I missed, but we talked about the 216 pivot, right? 216 pivot. I mean, look at this. It's just absolutely insanity. So I thought the pivots were really, really good today. I think what could have made them a lot better if there was liquidity. But again, when you have the whole sell, right? Sell. All those people that don't have a process, they're going to use the crutch and say, you got to sit on your hands, cash is a position, which is absolute nonsense. When you have two eyes, two ears, right? Two hands, right? You have two of everything. Trade both sides of the market. It's just an absolute crutch for the bull market trader that doesn't have a process. Let's talk about the earnings, right? Talk about earnings. AMD destroyed. People apparently remembered that AMD was like an inch away from like going bankrupt like 5 years ago, right? Apparently this, all the luster is gone. Stock was at $10 early last year. Can it get to $10? We'll soon see. Microsoft, actually pretty good numbers. Microsoft, pretty good numbers here, as you can tell. But here's Tesla. I tweeted this out pre-market, and I said kind of key things to kind of talk about ahead of the Tesla earnings that we knew about. Elon Musk bought $20 million worth of stock, right, last week. Citron went from this thing's a fraud, this thing's a blah, 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 blah. Oh, by the way, we're long, right? So we had that as well. And the one thing that we kept on talking about over and over again is the fact that Tesla, they moved up their forecast, right? They moved up their earnings day. Nobody's going to move up their earnings day to give you bad news faster. So this was all on the table. And again, as you can see, is really surging after hours. We talked about the levels. And again, guys, technical analysis is everything, is absolutely everything. We can see here the 200-day moving average was this 312. 317 was the top of supply. We talked about this. We tweeted this. We carrier pigeon this, everything. So for all you guys who are trading, hopefully you are trading the levels because this thing is absolutely surging after hours. on this 325 break. So, look, can we get some sort of relief rally tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. But again, you can see the semis completely getting just destroyed, absolutely destroyed. NVIDIA is 192. I mean, 192. So Citron actually got it right. Okay, I don't know if they were still in the positions. Again, being right and being right financially, two different things. If you remember, they shorted NVIDIA and then it ran up like 100 points. And then they shorted Tesla and they ran up like 100 points. And then also they got long Tesla. So God knows what they're doing financially. But again, on the surface, right, Tesla long, NVIDIA short, they got it right financially. We don't know. Don't care, don't know. It's all about tomorrow. So look, we're going to have kind of a mixed market tomorrow, only at the open, because Microsoft might pull up a lot of things. So a lot of these stocks are very destroyed, right? You can see they're very, very destroyed going into tomorrow's session. Can we get a move back up tomorrow? Yeah, we can. But I want to prepare everybody to the downside, right? I want to prepare everybody to the downside. And let's talk about some names for tomorrow. That have nothing to do with beta, okay? Because a lot of the beta names are just absolutely smashed. If we do get a rally in the morning, I like McDonald's, okay? I like McDonald's. This Bollinger Band will be lower. Had really good earnings yesterday. They ran up. I think if it could start building above 178, I think you can get a move on McDonald's, okay? I think you get a move on McDonald's. Ameren, I kind of like this AMRN. AMRN, if it starts basing out and confirms it's 22 bucks, I think it could go. I like the way it kind of put an inside day today from yesterday's move. So that's super duper bullish. So keep an eye in case it starts building above that level. Let me give you guys some shorts that I like for, tomorrow's session. Initially, I like, so let me give you some ideas. So AMD, I initially put in 1830 when I was charting. Yeah, it's not 1830 no more. So we're going to take AMD 1830 off the watch list, and we're going to put this opening range lows. I think there's a legitimate shot this thing goes even to 15 bucks tomorrow. I mean, there's a legitimate shot over time in the next month or so. There's an incredibly good shot, even goes back to like 10, 12. So we're going to put this in opening range low for tomorrow. We're going to talk about this obviously tomorrow during morning strategy. Here's some names I like from technically, right? I like Dollar Tree. It's rolling over, right? If it could confirm these two candles here, and this is a really good risk reward trade, you're shorting it below this 82, 15, 82 level. It closed at 82.43. So you're risking like 30, 40 cents on the trade. And if the market continues to sell, you could get a move all the way down to 79. Good risk reward on this trade here. Also, I like some of these networkers look really bad. FISV, first close below support. Again, you're shorting it in case it gaps up. You're shorting it below 77. Look where it closed, guys, 77.17. So you're risking about 20 cents for a possible $2 move. Really good risk reward. Same thing with Cisco. Okay, same thing with Cisco. It's just ready to break down. It's ready to break down here. 43.90. Again, it closed 44.07. You're shorting it below 43.90. So you're talking about risking what? 27 cents in the trade for a possible very aggressive move. So keep an eye on that. I like Checkpoint as a short, right? I like Checkpoint as a short as well. Again, first move into support. If it starts losing like this, because this bully is going to go down tomorrow. If it starts losing this 108 area, you're risking about 30 cents for a possible move down to the 50-day moving average as well. As you can tell, I put Tesla. I put Tesla on the chart buy over the 319 after hours highs. Well, that's not going to happen, right? That's not going to happen. The one thing, guys, and I'm telling you guys, we're going to transition slowly into the StockTwits room. Okay, I really urge you guys to to start mingling there, start sharing ideas. I'm going to be only putting in, as we saw in the last couple of days, only the live Twitter feed, okay? Only the live pivot feed. Everything else we obviously talk about in the live webinar. We do all the mentorship. We answer a billion questions, but the StockTwits / Twitter feed right now is strictly for pivots, okay? Strictly for pivots. I'm going to keep it very clean just by putting pivots in there, but I really encourage you guys to start talking to other traders there, engage in conversation, share ideas. That's the only way you will get confidence. Again, the greatest thing is we are all on the same side of this. We have a phenomenal process. You can see it here every single day that just really takes water and puts it into wine. And it's very, very important to be around same individuals that have exactly the same goal and desires and right focus. So guys, have a great night, everybody. Good job today. Love you guys. And tomorrow morning, please get to Morning Strategy. I'll see you all there bright and early. Take care, guys.